On this video, I would like to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 and following in the Hebrew and the Greek Septuagint, verse by verse, with grammar analysis and commentary. The Hebrew reads, Vayomer Elohim Yehi Rakia B'toch Hamayim Vihi Mabdil Bein Mayim Lamayim. Vayomer is a cow imperfect third masculine singular from the root amar with a vav consecutive. And God said, Yehi, let there be, a cow imperfect jussive, third masculine singular from haya. Let there be a rakia, an expanse. This is like a hammered out disc that the Lord slides between the waters. Viyehi mabdio, let there be a dividing, bein mayim lamayim. Let there be a cause of division or a dividing. Here is a hifil participle, masculine singular from badal. Let there be a dividing, or let it cause to divide between the waters up to the waters. Then, reading the Septuagint of verse 6, Kayepen hata as, and God said, Genetheto stereuma in meso tu hudatas, kai esto diakoridzan anamesan hudatas, kai aganata hutos. And God said, Apen is the aorist indicative active third person singular from Lego. Genetheto, let there be a firmament, a stereuma. This is from Genemai. Genetheto, let there be. This is an aorist imperative third person singular from Genemai. With the theta eta here, introducing a passive. So it's the aorist passive imperative from Genemai. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, kai esto diakoridzon, and let there be a dividing. Esto, again, we have the present imperative third person singular from Ami. Let there be a dividing. Here we have diakoridzon. We could render this a division between the waters and the waters. Kayaganata, and it was so. Kayaganata is the aorist indicative middle third person singular from Genemai. And so then we move on to verse 7, the next verse, and it reads, And God made Vaya'as Elohim et harakia, Vayivdel bein hamayim asher metachat larakia, uvein hamayim asher me'al larakia vayhi chen. And God made the expanse, the rakia, the hammered out expanse. And here we have Vaya'as is the cow imperfect third masculine singular from asa, a lamed hay verb, with the vav consecutive. And so God made the expanse and caused a division. Vayavdel is from badal, to divide. Zehifio imperfect third masculine singular from badal. Notice the ai vowel pattern, the pathak and the tseri, indicative of a hifil imperfect. caused a division between the waters which were from under up to the expanse, uvein hamayim asher me'al, and between the waters which were from above up to the expanse, vayehi chen, and it was so. Vayehi is the cow imperfect, third masculine singular from haya, with a vav consecutive. It was so. So then, looking at the Septuagint, kaya poiesin hata asta stereoma, and God made the firmament. Poiesin is from poieo. It is the aorist indicative active third person singular. God made the firmament. Kai diakorisin hata as, anamesan tu hudatas, ha ein upakato tu stereomatas, kai anamesan tu hudatas, ta tu apanu tu stereomatas. And God divided. Here we have diakorizo is the root to separate or to divide. So, and it's the aorist indicative active third person singular from diakorizo. So God divided between the waters. Notice anameson rendered here between the waters which were under. Ain is your imperfect indicative active third person plural from a me, which were under the expanse or the firmament, I should say, and between the water which were above the firmament. And so God is causing a division. And here we have the word stereoma, which means firmament. And the Hebrew rakia is like expanse, sort of like a hammered out disc that God slid between the waters. So then going up to the next verse, which would be verse 8. So reading verse 8 in the Hebrew. Vayikra Elohim l'rakia shamayim, vayhi erev vayhi boker, yom sheni. And God called to the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, day 2. Vayikra is from the root kara. It's the cow imperfect third masculine singular from kara with a vav consecutive. So God called literally to the expanse, Larakia, Shamayim. God is like a king shouting out commands. And he says to the expanse, your name is going to be Shamayim, or heaven. Vayhi erev vayhi boker yom sheni. And there was evening, and there was morning, day 2, or a second day. And looking at the Septuagint, it reads, Kayakalasin hata asta stereoma uranan. And God called the firmament heaven. Akalasin is the aorist indicative active third person singular from kaleo. So God called the firmament heaven, Kayedin hata as hate kalan. And God saw that it was good. Aden is from harao. It's the aorist indicative active third person singular. So God saw that it was good. Kai agenata espera, and there was evening. Agenata is the aorist indicative middle third person singular from genomai. And there was evening, kayagenata proi, and there was morning, proi, agenata again, aorist indicative, middle, third person singular from genomai. Hemera deutera, the second day. And so God now, the Septuagint translates uh, the uh, the Hebrew rakia as firmament, and here we have separating the waters and creating the heavens. Uh, God called the expanse Uranan, or the Hebrew Shamayim. It's interesting here. There's no struggle. Remember, I've said before in the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian account, there was a struggle where Marduk had to struggle with Tiamat, the raging deity, and divide her in half. Here, God just speaks. There's no struggle. God just speaks and he divides the waters. It's sort of like a hammered out disc that he slides between the waters, separating the upper from the lower. And the Greek has the firmament step that uses where the Hebrew has it, archaea. The Greek has stereoma, meaning firmament. So at any rate, I'm going to stop there. What a difference between the biblical account and the ancient Near Eastern Babylonian account of creation. And looking at the New Testament, we're told in John 1:3, Panta Dio tua genita, all things came to be through Christ as the agent of creation. He is God's word that speaks creation into being in John 1.